Celebrate!
St. Petersburg, NOLA, IMS, and IRP. The first half of the USF Pro 2000 Championship is done. We are into the second half of the season. It is the run to Portland and the season championship. Hello, race fans. My name is Rob Howden. Early morning show here for you as we get set to go for USF Pro 2000. The first of 3 races on the docket here at Road America, America's National Park of Speed. And standing beside me, a driver who has won here before, USF Juniors champion from last year, but he won a USF 2000 race here as well in 2024. That is, of course, Max Taylor from VRD Racing. Front row starting spot, P2. Are you ready to go here today?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to go. I mean, I've had really good runs here in the past. I absolutely love this place. It's so much fun to drive. It's so much fun to be here as well. I'm just so calm and so happy when I'm here. I love it. So yeah, P2, good spot to start. I think our car's really quick, so we'll be challenging for the win, I think.
This is one of those tracks where it's a lot about strategy as well, right? It's not like Mid-Ohio where if you're out front, you're probably going to finish out front. This is a track where you know you're going to have guys coming in the inside of you in 5 and wherever it may be. Do you have any kind of strategy going in, or is it all just playing off of what happens?
That's why I love it. You never know what's going to happen. It's thrilling. It's on your toes. It's intense. It makes some really good racing. So you have to have a really quick car and a really smart head on your shoulders, I think, to put together the whole package there. So I think we'll be pretty set up for a good position.
I love this racetrack, too. What about it do you love? What makes it one of your favorite racetracks?
I mean, look around. It's beautiful here. We have all the greenery, the trees, super fast corners, super fast straightaways, long straightaways. It's got a mix of everything, slow speed, high speed, and it just feels like a blast while you're driving it.
Tied for 5th in points coming in here into the second half of the season. What do you have to do to catch Max Garcia?
Oof, it's going to be tough. I mean, he's good. But I think I'm just focused on myself, focusing on me and Dan getting the car quick, and we'll take the results that we can get, and we're focusing on getting a good car together, and then the results will come, and then the championships will come, and so yeah, just focus on myself fully. One
of the unique things I want to touch on here when I have you for the pre-race show is you're one of the only driver that's doing some Indy Next races here and running in USF Pro 2000, jumping up to that level, the success you had at Barber. What's it like coming back to this car? What are you learning going back and forth? I'm learning so much. I mean, I think it's really evident in my skills and my position in Indy Next and Pro. I'm proving that the driver I am and the program that I'm with works really well, and it's been really natural going back and forth in between. I was actually a bit surprised, but it's been great. I love that car as well. We launched USF Juniors in 2022. This driver was there. We're looking for the first driver who goes all the way from Juniors to IndyCar. It could be Max Taylor. He's already going to go Indy Next racing next year. This is a track he loves, Road America, a very, very tough one. Let's have a close-up personal look at America's National Park of Speed. Welcome to Road America, one of the most iconic road courses in the world. This 4-mile, 14-turn masterpiece is nestled in the rolling hills of Wisconsin and offers a true test of speed and precision. Starting at the front stretch, drivers accelerate down into Turn 1, a fast right-hander that leads to Turn 3, a tricky braking zone that sets up the long run down to Turn 5. After hard braking into Turn 5, drivers climb the hill under the bridge to the blind Turn 6 left-hander before speeding down to Turn 8. Then it's a quick blast through the carousel, a flowing, off-camber, high-speed right-hander before heading to the flat-out kink, a heart-pounding, high-speed right that tests every ounce of courage. Then it's a run through the Kettle Bottoms to Canada Corner, a right-hand turn with heavy braking, setting up for a fast run through Turn 13 and back onto the front stretch. With its combination of elevation changes, fast straights, and technical corners, Road America delivers thrilling racing action every lap. Here at Road America, and looking forward to getting things underway for the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. It is race day. 4 events on the docket for today. 2 for USF 2000 and 2 for USF Pro 2000. The pro drivers back tomorrow morning as well for an early morning run to get on track and fire things up on a Sunday. It is USF Pro 2000 Race 1 here right now. My name's Rob Howden, joined by the voice of Road America, Eric Miller. And we are getting set to go. The drivers will be ready to head out onto the track momentarily. Let's quickly jump into it and have a look at the grid as we have this race lined up and ready to go. Again, it will be a field of 18 drivers set to go. The very top rung of the USF Pro Championships. These drivers battling for that scholarship. The champion winning just under $600,000 to go Indy next in 2026. 18 drivers in the field, row number 9. Let's start at the tail of the field, starting in the 18th position after trouble in qualifying from Greenfield, Indiana, in the Comet Racing number 21 machine. That will be Logan Adams. Adams has top 10 results here in the past. We'll see what he's doing coming from the tail of the field. And the driver he'll start alongside, issues in both qualifying sessions, Ariel Elkin. He's won 3 of the last 4 races. The hottest driver in the month of May for TJ Speed Motorsports, the driver out of Israel. Won it at Indianapolis, just won the Freedom 90 at IRP as well on the oval, but he's going to start deep in the field. Keep an eye out for that green number 27. He is going to be on a tear, working his way forward. Row number 8 on the outside. We talk about drivers being anywhere from 16 to 24 in this category. How about this driver here around the track, folks? Charles Finelli, 61 years young. The number 83 Fat Boy Racing Machine. Finelli starting 16th outside of row number 8. Alongside him in the Turn 3 Motorsport, number 33 out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That will be Tyke Durst. Moving now to row number 7 from the Pacific Northwest, the Portland native Cooper Becklin for Turn 3 Motorsports in the number 2, starting in the 14th spot. Alongside him, all the way from New Zealand, the rookie Sebastian Manson for TJ Speed Motorsports. The number 28 will roll off from 13th. Now to row number 6, California driver Carson Eder for Exclusive Autosport in the Priority Workforce number 92 machine, the rookie starting 12th. Alongside him out of Mexico, George Garcia Arce in the D-Force Racing number 10. Work our way now up into the top 10 in points. Currently in the race, currently 9th in points, starting on the outside of row 5. The 22 of Nicolas Monteiro, the Brazilian for Turn 3 Motorsports, set to start in the 10th position. Alongside him, a driver who was on the podium here last year, Fast Frankie Mossman for VRD Racing in that number 84 machine. Mossman out of Newport Beach, California. Watch for him to attack from P9. Row number 4 on the outside from Colorado, now living in Indiana, a University of Indiana student for Exclusive Autosport, Joey Brienza, 2 podiums last year in USF 2000. The rookie here in the number 91 machine starts this weekend in 11th in points, looking for a big weekend in the second half of the season to work himself up into the top 10. Alongside him, driver making his debut here in USF Pro 2000, was at the Fall Combine last year in Indianapolis, the English driver Joseph Loke for Turn 3 Motorsports in that number 3 machine, set to roll off from P7. Up now to row number 3 on the outside, Michael Costello from Naples, Florida for Pabst Racing. Costello in the number 20 machine had an issue in qualifying, the second qualifying session. He needs a fast lap here in this race to be able to leverage that for race number 2 and 3. And indeed, he'll start, as I said, on the outside of row 3. Alongside him, a driver who has won 3 times on the season already out of Florida for Turn 3 Motorsports, Alessandro De Tullio in the Astro Pay. Number 44, De Tullio starting in the 5th spot, rolls in here P3 in points, but well back from the point leader, Max Garcia. He has work to do. De Tullio will be fighting his way forward. Row number 2, Matt Clark in the number 90 out of Canada in the Exclusive Autosport Corpay machine. Clark right there in the points as well. He's 4th in points, just 9 points behind De Tullio and about 16 points behind Ariel Elkin, who sits 2nd in the points. But again, as we said, Max Garcia well out front right now. This could be a turning point depending on who comes out on top here in the triple header weekend at Road America. Alongside Matt Clark, one of our winners from the Indianapolis, Jacob Douglas, another one of our Kiwis, the New Zealander for Pabst Racing in the number 19, starting 3rd. And then with 18 drivers in the field, we'll put 2 on the front row. Off pole, last year's USF Juniors champion, multiple wins in Juniors, multiple wins in USF 2000 last year as well. He's made the full-time jump into USF Pro 2000 and has already ran an event in Indy next this year, a top 10 finish at Barber Motorsports Park. Of course, that is Hoboken, New Jersey's Max Taylor for VRD in that number 88. He'll start on the outside of the front row. But the driver who will pace them coming out of turn number 14, a very consistent start to the season. He has not yet finished outside the top 4. The remarkable consistency of Max Garcia, the rookie for Pabst Racing, won the USF 2000 championship last year. Here's his consistency. You see that with the scholarship colors, the red, white, and blue USF Pro Championship car. You're going to see those scholarship colors on last year's Pro 2000 champion, Lockie Hughes, who runs for Andretti Global in Indy Next. Last year, winning the championship at USF 2000, Max Garcia ran every lap, didn't miss a lap. That consistency got him the title. As I said, 2 wins on the season already so far this year, 6 podiums, every finish inside the top 4. That is your field right now. Garcia and Taylor on the front row, Douglas and Clark on row number 2, Tuttuli and Costello on row 3, Loke and Brienza row 4, Mossman and Montiero row 5, Garcia alongside Eder on row 6, Manson and Becklin row 7, Durst and Finelli row 8, Elkin and Adams ready to charge from row number 9. 18 drivers set to go. Let's bring Eric Miller in, the voice of this facility here, Road America. Eric, we know what this is all about. These young drivers hungry to try to get wins in front of the IndyCar paddock, all the team owners in IndyCar and Indy Next. We'll hold our breath till they get to, I'm going to say, the carousel. Once they roll into the carousel, I can start breathing again. But 1, 3, 5, 6 and 7, 8, it's going to be pretty crazy as these guys get underway for a 15-lap.
Well, not only that, but each of those corners is considered really a choke point, especially 5. I mean, turn 1 always, no matter what racetrack you're at, turn 1 is turn 1. But turn 5 here is really the choke point because your entry is narrow and then it widens out for just a moment, and then you funnel down into really just 1 to 2 lanes of traffic there. And as these drivers are getting the tires up to temperature, certainly under this pace lap, it's only 1 pace lap because it's such a long pace lap here at Road America. Tires aren't quite up to temperature yet. You got to manage the brakes a little bit. You got to be mindful of who's around you as well. We talk about the aspect of being here in front of the IndyCar crowd and certainly those teams and getting visibility. You got to shut that all out.
You do.
Once the visor goes down, you've got to eliminate that distraction and focus strictly on what the 4 corners of your race car are doing.
So let's go back to turn number 5. You talked about it being a choke point. The big thing about that is it's a big, long run from 3 under the Sardento Bridge all the way down into turn number 5. And number 1, you've got a huge draft, first and foremost. And then it's a downhill braking corner, which means the braking zone is a lot longer. It's extended. So you have more chance to potentially be that late braker, really modulate that brake down into the corner before you turn in. We know all about the exit coming off, the rumble strips on the outside of that track, the run back up the hill. So it's downhill, then back up the hill to the Corvette Bridge, and you get a better run on somebody. You can tuck into that blind left-hand apex turn number 6. It's such a fantastic racetrack. The opening lap, always so exciting. Ideally, once we get into the carousel, you're going to be single file, then down through the kink and into Canada corner for the first time. You can get a run on the drivers there. As we all know, the opening lap, always the best opportunity to potentially get yourself a spot. So, indeed, getting ready to go here right now. Drivers working their way down through the kettle bottoms, being told that Nikita Johnson is actually on the chat on the YouTube channel. Of course, Nikita coming through our entire program. Nikita, how are you, my friend? Best of luck in your continued racing overseas. Nikita, of course, a race winner all the way up through our program. USF Juniors, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000 as well. Narrowly came close to winning the championship last year, but again, we wish the best for Nikita Johnson. We'll be back here in the U.S. for a couple of Indy Next races here in 2025. So, again, we will go green this next time by. Drivers will work themselves up here, and we'll be ready to get things underway. Garcia and Taylor, the 2 Maxes on the front row. And I'll tell you, Max Taylor, who is currently back there 6th place in points, he's going to do everything he can to try to get himself in front of Max Garcia. He needs to hold that driver back. They all need to hold Max Garcia back. If they're going to do anything, they got to make sure that driver does not come away with a bunch of race wins here. Field working their way out onto the front straightaway now. You know how it's a big climb up the hill before they see that green flag from Aaron Likens. We are getting ready to go for a 15-lapper, the first of 3 races for USF Pro 2000 here this weekend in America's National Park of Speed. Up the hill, they're waiting, and we've got it. Green, green, green! Racing in USF Pro 2000. Good jump for the pole sitter, Max Garcia. You can see him going to the inside as expected. Here comes Taylor to the outside, and Garcia will lead them through turn number 1. Clean and green so far. Through 1, they'll come down the hill into turn number 3, the right-hander here. Very crucial corner. This sets up that first run down into turn number 5, as we know. Everybody trying to get the car rotated and back on power early. Maintain that corner speed. And look at the gap already for Max Garcia. Shot out of a cannon. Enough of a gap to potentially hold off the challengers. In fact, driver in second, Max Taylor having to hold off Matt Clark right now. Clark deep on the brakes. He'll go to P3. They're side by side all the way back further, though. 4th and 5th, 6th and 7th, 8th and 9th, all side by side. And there's that defensive run up the hill. That, I believe, will be one of the turn 3 cars. Very likely DeTulio try to defend coming back up the hill. But look at the lead already for Garcia. And that's cold tire laps, right? We talk a lot about that throughout the year, about who is quick when you're on the cold tires. Big move down the inside there for Carson Eder trying to have a look. Eder, who started outside the top 10, made a good run down to the inside. He'll go side by side as they work their way now. 2 wide potentially coming through the carousel. Eder to the outside. Carson Eder up on the wheel in the Priority Workforce exclusive Autosport machine, running the outside line on cold tires. But right now it's Max Garcia. A fantastic opening lap. Big gap already as they work their way through the kettle bottoms. First time down to Canada Corner. Everybody doing a good job here so far, giving up each other enough room. Little look to the inside there from one of the turn 3 machines into that corner, turn number 12. Back up through 13 here of Billy Mitchell Bend. Used to be a bridge there. Now just the bend of coming back up top through 14. Eric Miller, there you go, our opening lap. Drivers doing a great job getting through turn 14. That's what we wanted, get through lap number 1. 14 more to go.
Fantastic start, and that's what we want is good, clean, green laps. But I'll tell you, looking at the difference of some of these gaps that are made, you can tell where that gap is made is being able to take your apex entry on the proper racing line. When you're on that defensive line or that shallow apex entry, it hurts your exit speed, and that's what lets the driver in front of you pull away in many cases, also backs you up to the car behind you. So that battle at the start, nice and clean, visors down, elbows up. Now let's go racing for the next 14 laps.
Yeah, you're 100% correct on that. When you run that defensive line, you're going to be shallow entry. That means wide exit. You're not going to be on the power. You have to wait, till you get back on power. And I'll always say the way to get faster lap times and extend a straightaway isn't going deeper into the braking zone. It's being on the throttle earlier. And that's one of the things that these young drivers learn is it's not even so much the hard braking. They all know that we're asking for oh, Carson Eder goes around in turn 5. Eder, one of the drivers in front of him went off a little bit. Eder's able to get it refired and back onto the racetrack. So trouble there for Carson Eder as he came into the corner. The driver in front of him overcooked it. He did the same thing. A lot of times you'll do that when you're focused on the attenuator in front of the wing. Little too deep, rolled on the brake too much, and Carson Eder went around. Tough for him after a good start. He was into 12th on the opening lap, right where he started, was able to hold station, but he'll go to the tail of the field. Carson Eder will have to work his way back forward. But back on the topic of brakes, you know, when drivers are coming out of karting, where you really don't have to work on brake pressure that much, that's the one thing they initially learn. I want to X amount of brake pressure hit very early. Right at the very start, you want a hard hit, and then you roll back off it. And that's what they'll learn. It's not so much about the hard brake hit. It's more about rolling off the brake when you're coming in to increase that corner speed. You got to roll off the brake so you can get back on the throttle.
Well, one of the things that you kind of teach in karting is you're braking in a straight line. You can't trail brake with a kart in most cases because of that solid rear axle. Here with the independent suspension, just like any other race car, you're looking at having to get the instant reduction in force, reduction in speed to that whole transition, and you're shifting the weight of that car and modulating your brake through the center corner, getting back to the power early. A lot of times here at Road America, you want to back the corner off. You'll actually slow the corner entry speed in so you can get off the corner faster, and that's where we see the runs happen off of 14, off of 3, and certainly off of the carousel. You're actually backing that corner up and then getting a lot more exit speed, and that's what's the benefit when you get down to that end of the straightaway for the next corner.
Big run down the front straightaway there for Matt Clark, the exclusive Autosport driver, the Canadian, able to get by Jacob Douglas, finishes the pass in turn number 1, and has pulled away a little bit here. Just a little bit of a braking, or a little bit of a gap coming down into turn 5. You see it there. Clark now into second. Douglas runs in third. Fourth is Loke. That's Joseph Loke up to 4th spot. The British driver doing a tremendous job to P4. Alessandro DeTulio runs 5th. Joey Brienza in 6th. Max Taylor 7th. Michael Costello 8th, Nicholas Montiero 9th, and Sebastian Manson started 13th. He's up into 10th. So Manson +3 over the opening couple of laps so far. So indeed, everybody's settling in. We've kicked things off. Love seeing the people out of the fence around the racetrack. You cannot get a campsite here at Road America. Sold out. This place is absolutely packed and will be throughout the day. This is going to be a fantastic weekend. There are absolute rabid race fans here, and not only do they love their IndyCar series, but they also love watching the development levels here, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000, and we'll give them a bunch of racing today. As, of course, IndyCar and Indy next on track for practice and qualifying. So these are the young drivers trying to get there. We talk a lot about the fact in USF Pro 2000 that if you look at the last 7 champions in Pro 2000, 5 of them are in IndyCar, 2 of them are stars in Indy Next. We go all the way back to Renus VK, then Kyle Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, Christian Rasmussen, and Louis Foster. And, of course, the most recent champions, Miles Rowe and Lockie Hughes. Hughes coming off a tremendous victory at Worldwide Technology Raceway, his second win of the season, sitting second in points behind F2 race winner Dennis Hauger. So very proud of what we've been able to do in this program and moving these drivers forward. So indeed, Garcia is your leader. The lead last time by at 1.5 seconds over Matt Clark. Douglas runs second, Loke third. Max Taylor's dropped down into the 8th position right now, so got jammed up a little bit on that opening lap, got pushed back, but Taylor will put his head down and fight back. But you can see the lead right there now for Max Garcia. Open racetrack as well. And the key is, Eric, and you know this, how much of a gap does he have? We don't have push to pass like in the Indy cars and Indy Next cars do here. So there's no extra power from Matt Clark. The only extra power he's going to have is potentially to get in the draft. Is he close enough to potentially have that draft as a pass further back? Good battle there further back. Couple of drivers and contacts actually in that corner. 2 drivers getting together. I think that was potentially Sebastian Manson and Frankie Mossman. One of those drivers has gone off the racetrack with contact potentially in turn number 5. Saw that coming into the corner. But indeed, drivers continuing to push, battles all through the racetrack right now. Drivers just settling in, tires starting to come up to temperature.
And we talked about during the qualifying show as well that when you're looking at these races, with 3 races here this weekend for USF Pro 2000, looking at the fact of tire management as well. We had the scuff set of tires in qualifying. Obviously, 4 sets of tires. What are you doing to manage race 1? What are you doing to manage race 2? And then race 3 tomorrow morning?
Indeed, the confirmation was the 28 of Sebastian Manson, who was off the side of the racetrack there, and that may have been the side-by-side battle. I looked down and then looked back up to see him off the racetrack. I'm not sure if there was contact or not there. Very likely between Mossman and Manson coming down to the corner. Yeah, confirmed there was contact coming into the corner. You saw the move to the inside for Mossman. And Manson ended up going off the racetrack there.
And we talk about turn 5 being that choke point, and that's exactly what happens. You get yourself out a little bit wider. Someone comes up on the inside. You're already making your apex entry in, and somebody just happens to be there.
So indeed, just working our way through the opening couple of laps right now. Garcia's lead, 1.9 seconds, inching away slowly from Matt Clark here up front. Jacob Douglas still there in the 3rd spot, but he's about a second back now. Clark last time by lost a 0.2 of a second, but he also gained 0.3 on Joseph Loke, so he's 0.7 up on Loke as well. So you'll see as they stream down through turn number 1 under the Sargento Bridge now, that we don't have much of a battle on track between any of the cars, although those 2 turn 3 machines pretty close together. That was Loke and DeTulio. DeTulio actually a little bit closer. You'll see that battle coming down to 5 right now, those 2 white and blue turn 3 motorsports cars. Alessandro DeTulio right there with Joseph Loke, who's making a one-off appearance here. Brady Golan, who's been driving that car since earlier in the season, and another event here this weekend. So they got a chance to get Joseph Loke come over. He tested the car at the Fall Combine last October at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and was one of the fastest drivers there. We were hoping to see him full time, but electing to run a sports car program in Europe this year. We'll hopefully see Joseph maybe come over here again in 2026. He's a talented young driver, just won the BRDC award as well. I'll dive into more with Joseph Loke this afternoon because we have another race again, as we know, for USF Pro 2000. Not only, Eric, are we starting the day off for everyone here at Road America, we'll cap it off as well. We've got USF Pro 2000 Race 2 at around probably 4:15 for driver introductions. Right after that into USF 2000, the back end of their doubleheaders. So we'll cap off the day from about 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock with a couple of races to finish things off for a Saturday.
Absolutely. And about a third of the way in and through, now you've got everybody kind of settling into a nice rhythm here. Now, from a driver perspective, Rob, you're telling these drivers to maximize speed, but are you also telling them to just mind the car right now? You're early on.
Well, again, here's the thing. We talked about the fact they had 4 sets of tires. You got to take care of the rubber here, too. That's one of the things. This is a long racetrack. You and I have talked a lot about the fact there's a lot of very fast, long-duration corners here as well. So, you're rolling through that carousel, really relying on your tires to provide that grip. We saw some issues in the carousel during qualifying. So, yeah, maybe get relaxed a little bit here. Set up. Make sure you've got the draft where it needs to be. If you're tucked in on somebody's gearbox every corner, you're just going to continue to wear those front tires. You lose the air off the front wing. You don't have that aerodynamic downforce that helps you turn in. You're asking more from your front tires on a regular basis. If you keep doing that, you're going to find yourself fading backwards. You need to leverage the draft when possible and get hard on those brakes. And we're still seeing that battle right there. A good battle, actually 2 good battles here right now. That's the 2 drivers, Loke and DeTulio, and then Joey Brienza up into the 6th position, started 8th. Brienza, who, as I said, during driver intros, was on the podium both races last year in USF 2000. He likes this Road America track. Brienza last year is the USF 2000 Rookie of the Year, now in a fight with Michael Costello.
Costello didn't have a real solid practice session, had some trouble, found the wall early on in the weekend, but is kind of rebounded and able to put some pressure on Brienza here mid-pack.
Yeah, he had some trouble in qualifying yesterday as well. Went out of the opening lap and he said, I got just a little bit of aero wash coming through the carousel in the opening lap there. Cold tires. Was able to save it. Lost her in, but when he was able to save it, by the time he brought it back around to save it, he was pointing off the racetrack. And he thought he was going to be able to have it. He went through the gravel trap, and he said one of the cars, likely one of the Radical cars, maybe had been in there as well. He said there was a big dip. The minute that car hit the dip in the gravel from the other car, he's like, because I was a passenger at that point, backed it in, and really just winged an attenuator. So not even the left rear was damaged on that car. So this would be a crucial race here for him. Remember, this is a single race, so get your result when you can here now. Remember, race number 2 and race number 3, because he wasn't able to get a qualifying time, he's starting at the very tail for race number 2. He will need to get a fantastic lap, because race number 3 is not done yet. If you get a faster lap in race 2 than you qualified in that second qualifying session, you can use that lap instead. He'll 100% be leaning on that, as will Ariel Elkin too. So the battle continuing. In fact, I believe he's by. Costello's been able to get by into turn number 1. The big run down into 1. Book it. Costello going into 6th ahead of Brienza.
Great pass, made the pop just towards the end of pit wall, and made the most of the momentum from the toe, and that's exactly what you're talking about earlier. And we talk about a lot of cars having some trouble in the carousel earlier. When you're following a car like those turn 3 cars are, you'll see them step out a little bit in the carousel, one maybe a half a car without, just to get a little bit more downforce on these front wings to try to get some corner. Looked like another car wide here into 5. Again, hard on the brakes and lock up a little bit on the entry to 5, headed up the hill underneath the Corvette bridge into turn 7 now.
Yeah, trying to figure out that car coming through. I think that might be one of the TJ Speed cars. So that may have been potentially Ariel Elkin. Let's just throw this out there. Remember I told you to watch the 17 of Elkin? He started back in the 17th position, in the number 27 rather. He's up to 8th already. So he had pulled away a little bit from Max Taylor, but that mistake down into turn 5 got rid of a lot of that advantage he had. He was closing up on Michael Costello. In fact, the last time by, he was 0.3 of a second back. He was only 1.6 back, with still, 9 laps remaining. An opportunity potentially for him to close back up, but this battle's going to start heating up, I think, for turn 3. Again, DeTulio closing up. And I'll tell you, right behind them, they're right there as well. Brienza and Costello trying to close up on that battle. Costello, as we know, making that move up into the position. Watch for him to try to reel in these 2 turn 3 cars. This could be a 4-driver battle, Eric, and it's not for the top 3. That looks pretty locked right now with Garcia, Clark, and Douglas. But Loke, DeTulio, Costello, and Brienza are going to be lining up here pretty soon. And, hey, more cars you get in the train, the bigger draft.
Well, not only that, but Elkin now kind of rebounding from his little bit of an off in 5. He's starting to pull that gap. He was 0.3 faster, as you mentioned. Look for Elkin to kind of work his way forward. We've been asking all weekend, where is that car? Why don't they have any speed? They found it.
Yeah, they had some issues. Something was going on in qualifying for the opening qualifying session. I don't think he even got 1 lap in. And then it came out for the second session. Hopefully they fixed it, and obviously they did not. He did a 2:09, I think, brought him back in. So essentially the tail of the field for all 3 races for Ariel Elkin. And as I said, the hottest driver in the circuit in the month of May. Won 2 of 3 races at the triple header on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Then remarkably, in his debut on the oval at IRP, In the Freedom 9, he came away with a victory there. Bounced him all the way up to second place in points after a disastrous opening weekend in St. Petersburg with a wreck and then a DNS. The wreck caused him not even to start race number 2, but he fought his way back up into second. And of course, those qualifying issues, not at all what he wanted, but he is putting in a drive right now. Elkin into the 8th spot, 2.5 seconds now behind Brienza. But remember, this DeTullio, Loke, Costello, Brienza battle, if it continues, it could allow him to get back in. As I'll say that, DeTullio was able to go by Joseph Loke, put the pressure on for many laps, finally able to get by, so moved DeTullio now up to P4 in the race. Currently sits 3rd in points, so a crucial top 5 potentially here for DeTullio. But Eric, when we're thinking championship, if Garcia is able to walk away with his 3rd victory of the year, this kid hasn't finished outside the top 4 this year. This kid's on a flyer right now. This is an amazing run.
Well, one of the things is when they get the momentum already coming into Road America and they can continue to build on that momentum, it's one of those things where we've seen championships won or lost at this race weekend. It's all about putting together the solid first half of the season, but this begins the championship hunt.
Well, we talked about it last year. The first half of the season, Lockie Hughes had a great opening weekend at St. Petersburg, then struggled mightily at NOLA in a triple header and just did not get the results he wanted. But when he came here, he's in a championship battle, and he won all 3 races here in USF Pro 2000. That put him where he needed to be back in the point lead, and he did not lift off the throttle all the way to Portland to come away with the championship, and of course the scholarship to move to Indy Next. And he has leveraged that with a couple of wins already in the Indy Next series. So indeed, Max Garcia just looking to keep putting the hammer down here. USF 2000 champion last year, trying to follow in the footsteps of Kyle Kirkwood and Christian Rasmussen, who won on all 3 levels of the series. Of course, Kyle Kirkwood did it in succession, back to back to back. Christian Rasmussen had a couple of years in USF 2000, and of course jumped right into pro and won there, and of course won Indy Next as well, and is now running for Ed Carpenter Racing in the IndyCar program, coming off a top 3 finish at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And about that race, how great was that for USF Pro 2000? All 3 of the drivers on the podium on the oval Worldwide Technology Raceway, all former either champions or runner-ups in the series. 2016 runner-up Pato Award finishing 2nd. And of course, champions Kyle Kirkwood and Christian Rasmussen there as well. So awesome to see multiple race wins in USF Pro 2000 on the podium there. And again, of course, Lockie Hughes and Miles Rowe, the 2 most recent champions, finishing 1st and 2nd in the Indy Next race on that bad fast oval as well. So working our way through this one. We are past the halfway point now, 8 laps down, 7 laps remaining. Max Garcia out to a 2.7 second lead, looking to grab race win number 3 and stretch that point lead, which is right now 41 markers over Ariel Elkin.
One thing to kind of keep an eye on, Max Taylor started 2nd all the way back to 11th right now.
Yeah, he's been going backwards, has he not? He went back early and then fell back. We talked about the fact that he was right behind Ariel Elkin and closed up. Now he's down into the 11th spot, so you got to think some kind of an issue for Max Taylor, who joined us in the pre-show today. Lots of racing, as we said, folks. We've got all-star driver introductions at 11:15 for USF 2000. And, of course, those 2 races this afternoon from about 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We've got 2 races for you. We'll wrap up USF 2000's participation here at Road America. And, of course, tomorrow morning, the back end of the triple header for USF Pro. But it's a 2.7 second lead for Garcia over Clark. Clark's got 8/10 on Douglas. He's not done there yet. Last time by, Douglas about a 1/10 of a second quicker, so you can see 2nd and 3rd right there. Big gap back to DeTullio running in the 4th spot. Don't give up on Michael Costello yet, on Joseph Loke. He is right there, and of course, once they go to work, Brands is going to try to jump his way into it. There's Elkin. There's Mossman running in the 8th spot. 9th, or rather, he's in 9th. Elkin 8th. Taylor 10th. Taylor able to get a spot back. Logan Adams, who started dead last, now up into the 11th spot. So a good recovery here for Logan Adams after having trouble in qualifying.
Adams not quite able to keep up with Elkin as they work their way through traffic, but Logan slowly has progressively been patient, I think, working through the back of the field, trying to get up towards the top 10. He and Taylor actually hooked up and got around Monteiro, and so look for those two maybe to kind of get together here and try to work their way forward, try to get up into the top 10 for Adams and Taylor.
Yeah, that's them rolling by there. Max Taylor on the 88. And then, of course, the 21 of Logan Adams. I mentioned that he had trouble in qualif, and the trouble actually came in morning practice yesterday morning when he just got onto the curbing, the rubble strips coming down into the turn 5 braking zone. It was still a bit wet, and he looped it around and stuck it in the wall and had right front and wing damage. They weren't able to get the car fixed to get him back out for qualifying. He did make qualifying 2, so he does have a qualifying time there, but no time whatsoever for him in qualifying 1. Started 18th on the track, now up into the 11th position. Got a driver slowing.
Off of 14.
Yeah, slower coming out of 14, trying to pick up which driver. That's one of the Pabst cars, I believe. That looks crab walking a little bit, like potentially something
That's
wrong.
Costello.
There you go. I said one of the cars. That is, again, Michael Costello. Oh, tough one for Michael. You wonder what happened there. I don't know where he would have hit anybody. He wasn't in the position to pass anybody. He was closing, of course, up on him, but wasn't in the spot to go wheel to wheel with anybody. So not sure what happened there with Michael Costello, but he'll roll to the tail of the field. A rough weekend has gone bad for Costello. As I said, he's going to start at the very tail of the field in 17th position alongside Alessandro Di Tullio, who got a penalty in qualifying 2 for being underweight. So those 2 fast drivers are going to start at the back of the pack, and Costello needed a good run here. Sad to see that happen for Costello. That's going to move Joey Brienza to 6th, Elkin up to 7th, Frankie Mossman into 8th, Max Taylor 9th, and puts Logan Adams now into the top 10. I would expect that this race probably playing on the TV at Newcastle Motorsports Park in the Racers Grill, so we'll shout out to everybody at NCMP who is watching Logan Adams. Of course, that Logan, the grandson of former Indianapolis 500 racer and IRL winner Mark Dismore. His uncle Mark Dismore Jr. did a bunch of USF 2000 racing as well, but Logan here with their single car family run team up into the top 10. What a great result right now. Again, 5 laps still remaining. The final third of this race. The gap right now for Garcia up front, now over 3 seconds over Matt Clark. Last time by, Clark did a 2:02.8, lost a couple of tenths, but he was also about 2 tenths quicker than Jacob Douglas. So Pabst Racing first and third, Exclusive Autosport right in the middle there with Matt Clark as he's trying to get what would be his 6th podium of the year. A couple of bad races in NOLA kept him out of the championship fight, a 17th and an 18th after contact, not of his own doing. In the second 2 races after a podium in the opening run of the triple header down in New Orleans. But Clark continues to dig his way back. He's looking forward to getting up to Toronto for the street race, his home event. Right now running a strong second. Leader, look at the gap. Over 3 seconds coming down into turn 1. That is the gap right now for Max Garcia. Those cold tire laps coming out of the gate. No one there to challenge him. Had a fantastic start. Has been able to pull away. Drivers did an excellent job here so far. 4 laps remaining in a 15-lap contest for USF Pro 2000. They'll be back on the racetrack again later on today. For those of you here trackside, you're going to get a chance to meet all of our drivers. The autograph session for this category, USF Pro 2000, set for 12:45 right behind Victory Lane. We'll have the fan walk there. 1:25 for the drivers in USF 2000. So get a chance to come and please meet our young drivers, the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. Again, you did this a couple of years ago. You would have met Pato Award and Christian Rasmussen, and of course Kyle Kirkwood, Renus VK, Stingray, Louis Foster, all the drivers who have worked their way up the ranks into IndyCar. So a great opportunity to get to meet these young drivers. They've all got their autograph cards, collectibles for sure. Great to get maybe a photo with one of these young drivers. We'll have them there again. 12:45 for USF 2000 autograph session, or Pro 2000 autograph session. 1:15, 1:25 for USF 2000. So essentially back-to-back sessions. We'll swap the drivers in and out and get a chance to meet all the drivers that are there. Eric, there's Logan Adams right there rolling through the carousel. What a great job he is doing right now. Currently running in that 10th position. Digging, trying to work his way up. In fact, he was quite a bit quicker than Mossman on that last lap. We may see a battle right now for 9th position. Mossman had a bit of trouble on that lap to 1:04.8. A little bit of an issue for Frankie, and that is going to bring Logan Adams much closer. Remember, if you think back to last year, in this particular corner, turn 14, he sent it, trying to make a move to the inside on someone, and ended up on his roof in the gravel trap. And that's something I think he learned from last year. And you're not going to see that again here in 2025. This is his battle. That's 8th, 9th, and 10th coming up the hill down. We got ourselves a battle. Lining up here, the big draft coming. Let's see if Mossman's got anything for Max Taylor.
You don't score any points in practice. Qualifying sets you up for collecting points in the race, but you've got to do what you can in the race. Sometimes even though you're not going to be in the top 5 or get a podium, you've got to maximize your point operation. And Logan Adams has done that from 18th.
And here comes that battle down into turn number 3. Mossman to win a couple of car lengths and just backed it up enough that he gets a good run off the corner. Doesn't have the deal with the aero wash, that mid-corner understeer, back on power. Big run through turn 4 down to turn 5. Let's see if we got a shot here from Mossman. This is where he made the move on Sebastian Manson. Down into the braking zone, not quite enough.
But within a car length at 5.
He's close. Working his way up there. Right there as well is Logan Adams. He was quicker than both Taylor and Mossman on that last lap. So we may find ourselves with a battle here for 8th, 9th, and 10th. There it is out of 6th through turn number 7. Flat out in these USF Pro 2000 cars. You got to trust the car, trust the exit point. Back down to the hurry downs of turn 8. Great battle up front as well, or in the back as well, but nothing up front right now. Everybody pretty much gapped by about a second and a half or more. That battle is going to be 8th, 9th, and 10th. Good scrap as well between Nicholas Montiero and George Garcia-Arce, 11th and 12th. That's really the only battles on the racetrack right now as we're keying on this fight for 8th and 9th. 3 laps remaining for Max Garcia. Again, this would be the 3rd win of the season. Every race so far then would be inside the top 4. Staggering results so far. His 7th podium. Again, it'll be his 3rd win if he brings it home here. Max Garcia trying to put a stamp on this championship to try to go back-to-back titles.
2 laps to go for Garcia, and again, just maximizing the points. We talk about it all the time, about just taking advantage of where you can. Got a car off in 12. This could certainly impact the finish here.
That's Montiero, I believe. That's Nicholas Montiero. Remember, that was that fight I talked about for P11. He's off in the gravel trap. There's 2 laps to go. Depending on where he is.
He's on the exit of 12 straight on, so that's in a really kind of bad spot, to be honest.
Indeed it is. So we'll be looking at it. Indeed, driver off, as we know, that is down in Canada corner. He has gone straight off that track, and that's, again, going to be a passing opportunity. Of course, it won't be now, even if we stay local yellow. We'll do the best we can to potentially stay yellow, stay green if we possibly can. Indeed, we're going to get they're going to roll through here. I'm looking out at the stands, don't see anything yet from Aaron Likens on the flag stand here at start-finish, whether we decide to go full course yellow. There's no way Montiero's getting out of that spot. They're going to stick with a local yellow right now. Indeed, that's what I expected. So every driver's going to know that he is down there. You obviously cannot pass in the corner. I guarantee you that race control has been on the radio with all of these drivers, letting them know it's a local yellow down in Canada corner. You cannot overtake. The focus will be to go green to checker here. They'll see the white flag next time by.
And what you want? You want a green flag finish most as you can. It's just an unfortunate spot for Montiero to be in. But shout out to Eder, though. Eder up to 15th after spinning, went all the way to the back of the field, got at least a couple of positions. Again, trying to maximize, not quite the finish that he was looking for, but able to get some positions forward.
Carson's rolled his way through USF Juniors, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000. He didn't get the start like so many other drivers did in karting. This guy's an off-road truck driver, short course, like Lucas Oil, truck racing, and so such a he decided he wanted to go in a different direction. Did some California West Coast F4 racing, jumped into juniors. He has just kept jumping his way up. His first year in USF Pro 2000, Carson Eder getting quicker and quicker. Like I said, we were seeing him battling potentially just outside the top 10. He'd probably be in the top 10 right now if it wasn't for that slight error in turn 5. So Carson Eder still digging. Every lap's going to be a good one for him here. I expect to see Carson battling potentially up into the top 10 in race number 2 and race 3. So shout out to Carson Eder, the driver out of Villa Park, California. There's Aaron Likens there throwing the white flag. So we are going to roll this thing around. The gap right now up front down to 2.6 seconds. Garcia checked up a little bit. This will be interesting to see what happens here. Everybody, of course, checking up a bit through that Canada corner. But wonder whether or not maybe a minor issue there for Garcia, 2.6 seconds. He's got room, got some cushion. Take it easy here. Bring it home from potentially race win number 3. So Garcia leading the way, 2.6. Clark, Douglas, DeTulio, Lope, top 5. Brienza, Elkin, Taylor, Mossman, and Adams, the top 10 right now. Again, Logan Adams coming from 18th up to 10th.
Oh, it's getting interesting. Finally, there he is around. No contact.
That's
no
Logan,
contact.
Logan Adams went at it. So no contact in turn 5, but Logan's trying to get back on the power. He's going to have to defend coming up the hill because that's going to be Garcia-Arce right there. Adams tried to make a move. Coming down into turn number 5 on the final lap. Will he pay the price and get pushed outside the top 10? You're going to see the battle coming in here right now.
He got stuck in the marbles on the outside of 5, just a little bit offline, and that caught him out, locked the rears up, slid down into turn 5.
That's tough. He was pushing hard and worked his way up in 10th. He may lose that spot as Garcia is right on him. But this is the final run down into Canada corner. There's that shrinking gap for P1 and P2. And indeed, Douglas having a good run here in 3rd as well. But Garcia up through 13. Only one more shot through 14. We'll go green to checker in this one. Great job for the USF Pro 2000 drivers. But, folks, we talk about Road America being a championship-changing event. No doubt about it right now. The first of 3 races will now go in the books. Call it a 3rd victory for Pabst Racing's Max Garcia, the leader, stretching the championship. Not only does he get the 30 points for the race win, he also has the, I believe, obviously most laps led, but fast lap of the race, another bonus point counted. 33 points, a full brace of markers to add to the total. Double checker there from Aaron Likens. Max Garcia winning by 2.3 seconds. Matt Clark in 2nd, Jacob Douglas in 3rd.
And the third thing, not even related to the championship chase, that's a home win for Pabst Racing.
Listen, they are, of course, located nearby Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. If there's a place that Augie Pabst wants to win, I'll tell you this right now, it is here. He wants to win at Road America. What a big one for that team. 1st and 3rd. The exclusive Autosport driver, Matt Clark, getting in between the bookends of Pabst drivers. Garcia, Clark, and Douglas, the Tulu and Loke, your top 5. Man, good stuff, good stuff. And, of course, Victory Lane still to come. Don't go anywhere, folks. Again, we're back again for USF 2000 right around 11 o'clock. Eric, I'll pass it over to you. I'll make the trek over to Victory Lane. It's time to talk to a deserving winner who's just won his 3rd race of the year.
Absolutely. Looking forward to our Victory Podium celebration with Rob in just a few moments. Final cars coming through. Let's take a look at your final results. Max Garcia with a championship run in the focus takes race number 1 of 3 here at Road America. Matt Clark finishing in the 2nd spot. The 19 of Jacob Douglas, also for Pabst Racing, 2 steps on the podium for the Oconomowoc-based team. Alessandro Di Tullio in the 4th spot for Turn 3 Motorsports. Joseph Loke making a one-off, finishing in the top 5. Joey Brienza with a nice come through the field, starting in 8th, coming up through to the 6th spot. Ariel Elkin started 17th and up to the 7th spot in that 27 machine. And then Max Taylor finishing in 8th. Frankie Mossman will wind up in the 9th position for VRD Racing. Logan Adams coming up from 18th to finish 10th, hard charging. Entry for Adams, George Garcia-Arce up into the 11th position. Sebastian Manson to 12th. Cooper Becklin for Turn 3 Motorsports will finish in the 13th spot. Tyke Durst in the 33. Will finish 14th. 92 of Carson Etter finishes 15th after the early spin in Turn 5 on lap 2, making his way back up a couple positions. Charles Finelli for Fat Boy Racing will finish in the 16th position, and Nicholas Montiero and Michael Costello both with issues. Montiero over in Turn 12 for the final 2 goes in the local yellow, and Michael Costello, which appeared to have for Pabst Racing potentially some fluid issue or something going on in the front of the race car, came to pit lane and did not return to the race course. But how about that, race fans? What a great way to start our Saturday. It is race day today and tomorrow. 2 days of nonstop racing. We're looking forward to it. Qualifying for, of course, Indy Next and the NTT Data IndyCar Series later this afternoon, but we're racing this morning. We've got some practice from Indy Next coming up, presented by Firestone. But, of course, we're going to celebrate for our USF Pro 2000 Championship here in Victory Lane. I'm sure Augie Pabst very happy to have 2 cars on the podium here at America's National Park of Speed. Big celebration, I'm sure, for race 1, but can't get too crazy. We've got 2 more races this weekend for the USF Pro 2000 Championship at Road America. Race number 2 is later this afternoon for USF Pro, coming up at 4:25, and then tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:55 start. An early start for your race day Sunday for USF Pro 2000. But Max Garcia climbing out of that Pabst Racing Tatis. Had a big celebration, big fist pump, Big smiles of the Pabst Racing crew at Victory Lane. That's all part of the early celebration. We'll hand out some hardware, and they'll hand out some champagne and some spirits in this case, but not necessarily spray, as these fire suits have to make it through another 2 rounds yet this weekend. The USF Pro 2000 Championship presented by Continental Tires. Standing by, waiting on the podium celebration with Rob Howden.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're down here in Victory Lane, just gathering up our drivers here. Of course, the celebration continuing here at Road America. A big one, as always, for Pabst Racing. Of course, they're shopping near my Economawalk. So if there's a place the team from Pabst wants to win, it's here at home. Just getting all of our drivers into position here right now before we get things underway. All about the Elite Engines Grand Prix of Road America. Another great component here the weekend as well is, of course, all the engines in all 3 of our levels, all built by Elite Engines, the Knapp family, with the shop in West Bend, Wisconsin. So this is, of course, a full-on Wisconsin weekend. Just waiting for our final drivers to get themselves up here now. We're ready to go. All right, let's get things underway, folks, with the drivers here. Our first of 3 podiums in the USF Pro 2000 program. Finishing in 3rd spot today from Pabst Racing, Jacob Douglas. And to present him with his 3rd place award from Elite Engines is Michael Knapp. Great job for the New Zealander Jacob Douglas here, of course, winning at Indianapolis earlier this year. A solid 3rd place finish for him. Finishing in 2nd, knocking these results out for Exclusive Autosport. P2 goes to Mac Clark. Becca Potke will bring that P2 trophy in. Thank you so much, Becca, from, of course, everyone here from Elite Engines. Matt Clark, a strong 2nd place finish. This is the 3rd win of the season for this driver, folks. Every race so far inside the top 4. Unbelievable consistency. He ends up with a victory that's going to extend that point lead. It's a Pabst Racing win for Max Garcia. Max, one of the incredible results from last year was the simple fact that you finished every race, every lap. You did not miss a lap. It's going that way again this year. Top 4 in every session. How important is it for another win here midway through the season?
Yeah, it's good to win here. I mean, it's fine that I finished top 4 every race, but I just show up to win. So it's really cool that I could get one here, Pabst's home race, and I can't wait to try and do it again twice more.
Can we talk about that opening lap? You were unbelievably good on cold tires, jumped out front. How good was the car out of the gate?
Oh, so good. I was just driving to a lap for most of the race and then started pushing towards the end, but I mean, that car was just so easy to drive.
I know nobody wants to hear this, but can you guys make the car better?
I'm sure we can.
Congratulations. Who do you want to thank today?
Man, there's so many people to thank. All of Pabst Racing, Pabst family that came out to watch, my family that's here, Advanced Auto Parts. It's just been an amazing weekend so far.
Congratulations. Let's bring that trophy in. The guy bringing the trophy has touched every one of these engines. Logan Knapp, big part of the Knapp program here, bringing these engines to life. Logan Knapp for Elite Engines, of course, our sponsor of this weekend's Grand Prix of Road America, and Max Garcia, 3rd win on the season. What an impressive drive once again. Like he says, he wants to keep winning, and if they can make that car any better, it is going to be tough on the rest of the field. A big weekend here for Pabst Racing, as we said, 1st and 3rd in the opening race. We've got USF 2000, a couple of races for that category as well, coming up throughout the day. Another USF Pro 2000 race later this afternoon, and of course, they'll break the silence of the morning once again on Sunday with their 3rd race. So again, these drivers, as I always say, folks, just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. This, in the past years, was where we saw Kyle Kirkwood and Christian Rasmussen and Pato O'Ward. All the drivers that came through, Louis Foster, Renus VK, Stingray Robb. These are the drivers you're going to see in IndyCar in a couple of years, and that's the key here. 3 different nations as well represented on the podium: USA, Canada, and New Zealand, all part of an international field of drivers in USF Pro 2000. Some great drives from the back of the pack as well. Logan Adams and Ariel Elkin able to work their way forward from deep in the field. And how about that? Green to checker as well. We did have the incident with Nicholas Monteiro down in Canada corner on the penultimate lap, but able to stay green with a local yellow in that corner. Green to checker, exactly what we like to see for these drivers, getting maximum laps. But again, a big weekend start for the driver who is standing in the middle of this trio. Another win, 3rd on the season, top 4 in every race. We're going to bring elite engines in here again. I'll tell you, great stuff for sure for these drivers. Champagne, of course, waiting in the wings. You know they don't go after each other the first race. They've got 2 more to come. They only have 1 suit, so you don't want to get it all dirty. Nobody wants to be racing in sticky conditions throughout the entire time. Folks, we've got Champagne coming. When they get it sprayed, do me a favor and give them a big round of applause when they rip that spray up. Champagne. Guys, grip it and rip it. Let's have some fun. The top 3 in the opening round. Big victory for Max Garcia with the win. 2nd place for Matt Clark. 3rd place goes to Jacob Douglas. They'll do it 2 more times here this weekend at Road America. 1 this afternoon and 1 first thing Sunday morning. Thank you so much for coming and joining us here at Victory Lane. Those of you at home watching off the YouTube channel, lots more racing still to come. Lock into the channel. Tons more USF Pro Championship competition for you. But that wraps things up for the morning here at Road America. Thanks for tuning in. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.